on. Alex, are you there, buddy?
I think I'm here. Can you hear
All
me?
right, guys. Let's switch over. Let's oh. Psych. I minimized you. There he is.
All
All
right.
right. There's Alex right there, guys. That is Alex Ogloza. Let's hear it for Yay! I usually have an audience sound thing, but I don't have it up right now.
Oh, thank you, Justin. Thank you.
Yeah, you're very welcome. You're very welcome. Hold on, let me redo it really fast so that it looks really fancy. Don't worry about this, guys. You just mind your own business while I get the cheer sounds for Alex. Here we go. All right, guys, let's hear it. Your national champion, Alex Ogloza.
Wow, I don't hear anything. Okay, thanks. Okay, perfect. Great, great.
So anyway, yeah, I got some had some cheering for you there. I think everyone's pretty stoked. I see in the chat everyone saying I love you. Oh, look at that handsome face, says Jetstream. Yes, I know. The national champion's also a hottie. Look out, guys. He might be taken though. Look out.
Oh God.
I was giving you a hard time.
This to me. Okay. Let's see.
It's not my fault. It's what they're saying in the chat. I just respond to them. I don't really control the stream. They do. That's the trick. You think that you're in control because you're the streamer, but you don't. The chat controls it. But anyway, Alex, so awesome to have you on. Alex, you're just home from college and stuff, right?
Yeah, I just graduated like 3 weeks ago, I think. Yeah, something like that.
So were you building your team and like totally bailing on tests or
Oh
what?
God, it was bad. It was bad. I mean, I'm not going to condone not studying, but if I had to be honest, I could have studied more.
Yes, I think we all can most of the time. That's tight. Putting off tests and stuff. Practicing for Pokemon. Super sick.
This time it paid off, so I'm pretty happy about it.
Totally worth it. Might have to redo a semester, but you're the champion, right?
I squeezed by. I just well enough.
That's good. So anyway, Alex, I think one thing that people like to know, at least I do, maybe no one cares, but what was your first Pokemon game? What even got you like into Pokemon? Was it the game? Did you play the game or was it the cartoon? What happened?
I started way back Red and Blue. I mean, I'm so old. I'm the oldest national champion at 22, so half of my life is gone. But yeah, I started back with Red and Blue. I did have Blue. I picked Squirtle. I know we're going to have a lot of Charmander hype in the comment section because I get a lot of that. But I do think Squirtle's the best for all of you Squirtle people out there. But I used to I watched the cartoon every single day.
Mhm.
Every single day. It was kind of like, that was my go-to. I go to school, go home, gotta watch the cartoon. I'd get upset if I didn't get to watch it. So I think
Dude,
that's what really got me into it.
it came on at like the perfect time. It literally came on at like 3:30,
Yeah, no,
right?
it's oh God, as soon as I got home, I had enough time for a grilled cheese sandwich and some Pokemon.
Yes, just eating healthy, coming home from school, eating healthy, a
So
nice
good.
700 calorie grilled cheese and some
Hey,
Pokemon.
yeah, yeah.
That's cool. So you watched the show, right? And then so were you playing the game and but they came out kind of at the same time, if I recall correctly, in the U.S. They were pretty much hand in hand, weren't they?
Yeah, yeah, pretty much. I remember when I was in elementary school, that was when the TCG, like the very first base set, that's when that really caught on. At least in my school, it did. I assumed it happened to a lot of different schools. Kids would bring all of their cards, they'd have their binders, and kids would trade, and then they'd cry and try to trade back.
Dude, the trading.
Yeah. And I remember all these kids all of a sudden just one day had all of these cards, and I was like so mega confused. I was
Hmm.
like, what is this? And at first I was like, I'm never going to get into this. I'm too far behind. I'm kind of like a competitive person. But
Hmm.
I was like, oh man, too many people have too many cards. I'll never catch up to like the kids with the big collections. But I had a really close friend he moved to like Wisconsin or something. I haven't seen him in 15 years. Who like, he gave me a couple cards, and I was like, oh man, these are the coolest things ever. And then I kept buying packs and stuff. We had a Wizards of the Coast store here.
Ah.
That company like still existed. Um,
That's cool, man. Yeah, so you kind of got into so you were into the card game more first then, right? Did you play the card game kind of competitively first?
I was always too shy to go to like league and stuff. They always
Hmm.
came in those starter packs, but like like a little sheet of paper. It says like join league.
Hmm.
I was way too shy. I collected for all the way till I was 16. So
Oh
I have
wow.
all of the base set. I have all of base two, jungle, fossil, all of like the OG sets. I'm not sure if you even remember these or if you got into it at this time, but this is like some old school stuff.
I think I
And
was trying to get my driver's license at the time.
oh yeah, okay, fair enough.
I mean, what?
Equal importance there.
Yeah, I was probably like doing
Yeah,
that.
I was like a closet collector until
Hmm.
my 16th birthday.
Hmm.
And on my 16th birthday, I decided it was actually the same exact weekend as a regional and not a premier challenge. The I haven't played the TCG in so long. The ones where they used to give you like a set of packs from the new. Uh, uh,
Yeah.
yeah, you know what I'm talking
Yeah,
about.
you get the pre or whatever it is,
Pre-release. Pre-release.
pre-release.
Yeah, that's what it's called. And it was the same weekend, and I promised myself I would stop being a closet Pokemon player, and I was
Yeah.
going to go to both.
Hmm.
And I got knocked out of the video game the first round, so I
Hmm.
was like, I'm going to turn my attention towards the card game. And for the first 2 years, I played the TCG pretty competitively. I played. I went to nationals in 2010, and I top cut. I actually sat next to Jay Witz.
Oh wow.
I threw my game on a terrible, terrible misplay, which I will never live down.
Oh no.
Yeah, so I was actually TCG for a long time. I guess that's not that long, but
Well, I mean,
TCG
if
was
you've
fun.
been collecting, that was like almost 10 years of collecting, but you
Oh,
didn't
God.
really start competing, like you said, until you were a little bit older.
Yeah, 16.
And then, so what made you switch to focus on VGC as opposed to TCG? Was it that abrupt loss? Was it that big misplay?
This is a slightly terrible story, maybe because it's not as epic as it could
Hmm.
be. But I went to Worlds for the grinder for
Hmm.
TCG. It was in Hawaii, so I convinced my mom. I was like, "Hey, mom, great vacation idea. Let's happen to go to Hawaii." And oh wow, guess what? Guess what's also coinciding? The Pokemon World Championships. This was 2010.
What? Oh, I didn't even know, Mom. I just wanted to go
Oh
on
yeah, no, I
vacation.
just happened to bring my deck because I thought it'd be fun. So I went there, and the I had to wait in line. I got ready to pre-register for the trading card game, and the trading card game started at 10 a.m.
Hmm.
and I had an hour to kill because we registered at 8. I don't know
Hmm.
why they had us register so early, but the video game last chance qualifier started at 9, and I had a really good friend at the time who was he had won a regional that year. So
Hmm.
I went up to him. I was like, "Hey man, give me some Pokemon. Let me just fiddle around with it." And I'll just play for a little bit, and then when I get kicked out of the video game, I'll go back to the trading card game because
Yeah.
Pokemon's Pokemon. I enjoyed it both ways. He gave me 4 Pokemon. This was back when there was no team preview. You didn't have to rearrange anything. You could only bring 4.
Yeah.
And I used those 4, and I went undefeated through the grinder and made it into Worlds. And
Oh
so,
man.
yeah. And then I was like, wow, maybe the video game's cool. So then I started going pretty hard at the video game since then.
No, that's a pretty epic story. You registered for TCG, and then you're just like, well, I guess I won't be playing TCG today.
Yeah. The same guy who registered me for the trading card game was the guy who was registering people for the video game.
Hmm.
So when he saw me, he was really confused.
Oh yeah.
Me being the insanely bright person I am, I told him that I had a twin brother. So not only am I wearing the same clothing, okay? I currently have a twin brother also wearing the same clothing, and then I registered under the name Evan Falco. Now my
Oh okay.
Ogloza. So my twin brother and I, we had different last names.
Nice.
We're wearing the same clothing, and had the same red backpack. And he kind of just gave me a weird look, but just like kind of let it go, because prove to me I don't have a twin brother.
Yeah.
And Evan Falco was actually the name of a childhood friend of mine. We went to preschool through high school together. It was the first thing that came to my mind because I wasn't prepared to encounter
Hmm.
that dude again. But that kind of happened.
That's pretty funny. So that's pretty cool. I like that story a lot. Now, you also made a YouTube. I don't know if it was recently or what. How long have you been doing some stuff? I believe you initially started out doing some Pokemon Academy stuff, but your channel is now actually just under your name, Alex Ogloza, right?
Yeah, it is. I started that actually. It's going to be 1 year come August 5th. So it was relatively new. I did it after Worlds last year, and I for a long time I was kind of like a lurker on
Hmm.
either Nugget Bridge and all these other sites online that that kind of shared material. But I thought twofold. One, I had some knowledge, and I wanted to give back, especially since my friend who had given me that team, like he enriched my life so much by just giving me that team and giving me an opportunity. I figured, one, I'd like to give back to people, so I have some knowledge that I could share. And two, I thought it would help me grow as a player. It would force me to practice more, try new stuff that I don't usually do. And I'm really, really grateful that happened, because it helps so much, and everyone's so nice. Most 99.9% are so nice.
Most people, yeah. So that's cool. What do you typically do there? Do you do like team builds, or do you just like kind of test out teams? Like, is it battles? Is it like in-depth discussion on Pokemon?
That's a good question. I mostly cover like anything that goes through my mind. So VGC's got a lot of different aspects to it, from, like you said, team building to testing out the team. And whatever stage I am on a team, I'll just kind of record that kind of stuff, and I will commentate over it. It's basically my thought process of playing video game as it goes, as I'm training, as I'm practicing. So it'll be any number of building like competitive teams that I want to try out, and then battling and using them. How I came to certain EV spreads, and all the way to stuff that's like, testing Torkoal, because maybe it's the new,
it's the new meta.
Yeah,
Torkoal.
Exactly. So it goes through phases, but it kind of just follows my thought process.
Right on. So, guys, definitely check out Alex there. You can see his links right there. They're youtube.com/Alex Ogloza. It's actually Ogloza, like as if there's a W, but no W. Ogloza, but it sounds like Gloza. Also, you can hit him up on Twitter. And then, Alex, you streamed a little bit. I saw you yesterday kind of doing a little stream. Are you going to stream a little bit more, maybe once things calm down from Worlds and stuff?
I think I'm going to, yes. Clear answer is yes. A lot of people have told me they really liked it, so I'm going to do it for them. I usually battle a lot of my viewers and stuff from YouTube, because I can't do it on YouTube all the time. YouTube's kind of clunky. You don't want to send message back and forth. So they'll come, and we'll go, and I'll just random roll people, and we'll battle, and we'll talk. They're allowed to, ask me all sorts of questions, from VGC to sometimes personal, which get weird. But... it's basically just like, hey, pretend we're in the same room together, and let's just hang out. Let's play some Pokemon.
For sure, that's really cool. So definitely, guys, check out Alex's stuff. Now, Alex, let's talk about the national championship. I'm sure that's what everyone really wants to hear about. This is crazy. Again, guys, I want to remind you that Alex just won the U.S. Nationals, and I am reading the chat a little bit. I'm reading the chat just a little bit, guys. I do see it from time to time. Again, we are live. If you're seeing this on YouTube, we're live on twitch.tv/thejustinflynn. So I'm reading, there's a live chat here asking me questions and stuff like that. But I know everyone's been like, oh, how did it feel doing this and this at Nationals? So again, guys, this is the national champion for Pokemon. He's going to be representing us at Worlds. Got the free trip and everything. Now let's start out by talking about what's it called? The very first round of Swiss. Now, I don't know how you did in the first round of Swiss, but maybe you can kind of like tell us a little bit about it. Did it start rough? Did you go like 7-0 and then you lost a couple? Like, what happened?
Okay, yeah. So day one, you had to go at least 7-2. You have 9 matches. Anything 7-2 or better, you got to make the next day. I was sitting at 212 championship points. The projected amount was 203. So if I top 32, I was going to be 1 point short of making my Worlds invite. So I had a lot of pressure. Yeah, no, God. I had a lot of pressure to make it through that first series of, the first day and get on the top cut, especially because I missed last year's Worlds invite because I went to Japan instead of Nationals. So that was painful. So I was like, here's my chance. Here's my chance. I actually, my first match, I played against a great guy. His name's Judy. He goes by Soul Sir. And he ended up getting top 8 or top 4 in the tournament.
Oh, wow.
He had basically the same team, believe it or not.
Oh, wow.
So out of the field of 491 people, I ended up getting someone who went deep into top 9.
Wow. So how'd that first match go? Then did you start off good or not so well?
No. He beat me. He had like a really cool Talonflame. It was bulky. It had a lot of HP. It had Rocky Helmet, and it was there to Will-O-Wisp my Kangaskhan.
Oh.
So by turn 2, I had completely killed myself off of Rocky Helmet and burn damage.
Yeah.
So I was like, well, down Omega, this is not great. And, my main counter to Talonflame, because Talonflame was a big threat to my team, was my own Talonflame, but the bulky version was not going to fall to my Brave Bird. So He played really well, and he pretty convincingly took me to the pavement.
So,
So
so that was Matt. You started off nationals 0-1,
a
is what you're
big
telling
fat
us right
stroke
now.
run. Yeah, yeah. Oh God, that was not the greatest moment of my life. But anything can happen. You play against good people. I didn't get opponent's win percentage in this first tournament, so hitting someone that's good, that good that early is not the greatest, but it happens. So you kind of just got to pick yourself up from it. And then you also got to realize you're now playing against people who are also 0-1, so you hope some of those people are going to be, on the full evolution side of the game. People who
Yeah.
show up with like those full EV teams.
For sure, yeah, yeah. You want to battle. You're hoping that that's what I do like about Swiss. Like Swiss is like a double-edged sword, right? It's like the percentage system's rough, but at the same time, it's nice that you kind of like butt heads with people that are your same record.
Yeah.
So you're hoping it's a little bit more of an even playing field. Not that that first match wasn't an even playing field, but that was still really rough going in. Like,
Yeah, no, especially because you don't expect. I didn't know who he was, so I went and I played as if it was going to be, someone who's, might be good at the game, but not. I was not ready for those next level predictions.
hmm
He was reading me really well.
You're right, and I'm glad that you brought that up. This is important for those of you, watching or whatever. In your matches, like Alex just said, he went in. And I do that too all the time, going like, oh, whatever. There's 500 people here, and I'm pretty experienced, so maybe this person just came for fun. You can never, you can never go light on your opponent, and I think Alex definitely knows that now, and I definitely have learned that the hard way numerous times, actually. So that's a good thing. So the rest of Swiss, how did it go? You ended up what, 7? Did you
I
end
went
up 7-2?
7-2.
So barely made the cut in round one.
Yeah, I dropped that first game. I won the next four. I was
hmm
4-1, feeling pretty good. Dropped that sixth game, 4-2, and then I had to fight for my life in those last three. But I did, thankfully, and I squeezed in at 7-2 that first day, and I got to go, and it's like, okay, I got top cut.
That is awesome. So for those of you that don't know, 7-2. Everyone that was 7-2 went through to day 2 from Masters. I don't know how they did seniors or juniors, but I know that in Masters everyone's 7-2. So you were very, very close to be eliminated from day 1. Now, when day 2 happened, were you ready? Did you get up early? Did you test out teams the night before? Or did you just kind of go in and like, all right, then just another day, or what?
Okay, yeah, no. So I went back and I was like really relieved I made top cut. Like,
hmm
it cost some money to fly out to Indianapolis.
A little bit.
Bought it last minute, so ours was insanely, a tough pill to swallow. It's a lot of money, but you want to feel like you went and showed your best. So I
hmm
was really happy I could at least tell my parents, hey, look, I didn't just flop. I know that everyone in Top Cut was like a bunch of solid players there. I mean, clearly you had like Ray Rizzo, 3-time world champ. You have all sorts of number of great players. I wasn't really, I didn't know anyone else's team at all at that point because they
hmm
hadn't shown anything. So I went and I practiced with my team a little bit when I woke up at Showdown, tried to get like into the feel of it,
Yeah.
get started. I ate a bagel with cream cheese. That
That's
wanted to
no
know.
clutch.
Ate that, yeah. And then it was like pretty early in the morning. I actually basically went from the first day of the tournament, got some dinner, went home, slept, and then went to Top Cut. So I didn't have a lot of time to practice.
Yeah, that sucks. So yeah, I mean, you really don't. I mean, you leave like when it's over, like you don't have a ton of time that day, and then immediately it's like 9 a.m. in the morning or something. It's like
Yeah, where did
crazy.
the time
So
go?
so you got back up. So tell us about day 2. How did your Swiss go? Did you place really well in day 2 Swiss, or what?
So I calced it. I used the phone simulator thing to see what place I needed to make top 16. I needed top 16 so I didn't bubble out of Worlds by 1 championship point.
Okay.
Top 16 gave you 150 championship points instead
hmm
of 90. So I was like, okay, I need top 16, and to my dismay, you had to go at least 4-2. Only 4-2 and above made top 16. So I couldn't go 3-3, which I felt like I felt pretty confident at 3 and
hmm
3, 4-2. You got a lot of good people there. You never know what you're going to hit. So I went in and I actually got to play a good friend of mine. His name is Jason Fisher. He goes by
Mhm.
Fish. Round one. He didn't have paper or a pen, and I gave him my pen. A custom ordered pen on Amazon. I'm still miffed about it. You have
Just
to wait.
nightmares. No, my
Yeah,
my pen, my pen.
exactly. Yeah, no. And then I gave him, and we played, and I lost the first match against him in a. I overpredicted on the last turn. I thought he would think I wouldn't do the obvious play, but if I had done the obvious play, I would have won. Because he wasn't running Protect on his Mega Venusaur. So my Brave Bird, I had Talonflame out there, and I was like, oh, this is too obvious.
Hmm.
So I Brave Birded the other thing, and then he killed my Talonflame, and my Rain team was not going to beat his Mega Venusaur on the last turn. So
Oh no.
not the greatest. But I did beat him games 2 and 3. I got pretty lucky in game 2 to the point of where it wasn't much of a match. He missed Draco Meteor like 3 times. So
Gotta love
we
that.
didn't really get to
RNG.
play that one out. Yeah, no, we didn't get to really play that one out. But in the third game we played, that was a pretty non-hacks match. So that felt good. It felt
Hmm.
good to start off the day 1-0 against a person who I knew was pretty solid. And I
Hmm.
know now opponents' win percentage is important because only the top 8 get to go on.
Yeah.
That's all five. It's the one undefeated, the 6 5-1s, and 2 4-2s.
Hmm.
So, but my goal was just top 16 at that point.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say is just so people know how the format went. Day one, Swiss was just one match each for day one. It was one match each, and that's it. And then you 7 and 2s went through. But day two, Swiss was actually 2 out of 3 with each opponent. So you took game one. How did the rest of Swiss go? I think I know what you ended up with, but why don't you tell us what happened there?
Game 2, I got terrible pairings because I had really good opponents, and I was just really lucky that. But I played against a guy named Jive Time. If you guys have heard of him, he's pretty well known on Nugget Bridge, and he had a really good team. He was being coached by Wolfie Glick, who won nationals twice and was runner-up worlds.
Hmm.
It was really close both games, but I actually I beat him 2-0. So
Nice.
after that, I was like really hyped, and I was like, oh man, I got pretty good win percentage here.
Yeah, that's
I
huge.
knew I was going to need that, yeah, if I wanted any chance of top cutting. Game 3, I played against Minaj Sunny. He got 11th place at Worlds last year. Our game came down to the third game, so I won the first game, he won the second game, or vice versa, one or the other. They all kind of blend together.
Hmm.
And then in the third game, he hid Quick Guard on his Talonflame until the very last turn of the
Oh
game.
my gosh.
He won on that. We were actually on screen, and I was not ready. I saw his 3 other moves. I thought he didn't show Protect. He had Taunt, okay? And I was like, okay, there's no way he's running Taunt and Quick Guard.
Yeah.
He was, and even though I Brave Birded him throughout the entire first 2 games, he saved it for the very last turn, and it was brilliant the way he did it. He beat me, so that was my loss. We
Yeah.
cut for lunch, got like the biggest banana strawberry smoothie I've ever had.
There you go.
Yeah, no, for real. And I came back in 2-1, and now I know I had to pick up 2 of these next games in order to make that top 16 I was
Yeah.
looking for. I played against this guy who I don't know.
Hmm.
Somebody told me his name, but I still don't remember it. I'm sorry if you're watching. You're a good guy. He was running a rain team like I was,
Hmm.
and I was like, oh god. But he was running like Moltres and like Crobat, so some pretty cool stuff. I beat him pretty, like it was a good game, but like I beat him pretty safely, I guess. Neither of us brought rain, but I didn't need rain, and he kind of did. He was expecting me to bring it, so that was that match. So I was 3-1, and I was like, I just need to win one more. Now my next match, I've been hearing about Simon Yip's team, TDS, if you guys have heard of his handle, and he was running a bunch of stuff that Rain did not want to see: Assault Vest Tyranitar, Mega Blastoise, Amoonguss,
Hmm.
just like a whole mess of stuff that I had wanted nothing to deal with.
Yeah.
And I was like, hey, that dude's undefeated. There's no way I'm going to play him this round. I got paired up, so I'm playing 4-0 Simon Yip, who hasn't lost since day one.
What?
5. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
On his last 9 matches in a row, and everyone outside's talking about him. So I was like, oh god. He 2-0'd all of his top cut opponents so far. Ludicolo really came through, though, that game. Really did a lot of work. Came down to, like, the last turn of the second game. He had a Aura Sphere, and he tried to kill my Ludicolo, but it did like 6% or something. Like, it completely ate it up, and I Giga Drained him, and I was like, oh god. Like, at that point, I knew I got that 4-2 at least, even if I lose, and I was going to have top 16. So I was pretty stoked. Like that was a big moment for me.
So that's huge. We just walked through, guys. I don't know if I'm just going to recap for you really quick. Again, this is Alex Ogloza, the U.S. national champion for Pokemon, the Masters division, and Alex essentially lost round one of day lost. He lost match one of day one Swiss, but ended up going 7-2. Barely made the cut. That's the minimum you could be to make the cut. And then, and then in round two of Swiss, you also went 4-2, which is, I believe, you were eighth place going into the next day.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's absolutely insane, guys. So don't think that you're out of it. You know, if you're ever in these tournaments, Alex went in as the very bottom seed almost 2 times in a row, and then we already know he won it. But all right, so we'll breeze through a couple of the highlight matches here. The one that people really want to talk about, obviously, is the Ray Rizzo match. Now, Alex took on Ray Rizzo. If you guys don't know who Ray Rizzo is, he is a 3-time world champion. This guy is no joke when it comes to Pokemon competitive battling, and he's never won a Nationals, so he was out for blood, I want to say. But maybe you can tell us about how your matches went with Ray Rizzo.
So I was 8th seed, and Ray Rizzo was 1st seed. So unfortunately, that was my first match in the top cut of day 2. So going into the top 8, I had to play him. And we sat down. He's a really cool guy. We talked a little bit, we joked. And we turned on the DS, and we have almost the same team. We have, Politoed Ludicolo, and then his Mega was Mega Mawile instead of my Mega Kangaskhan, and he had Zapdos instead of my Talonflame. But he also had Hydreigon and Aegislash. So I was looking at something pretty scary, because if both of us were in top cut, like, okay, so something, he clearly knows what he's doing. But his adjustments to the team, I think, and actually once I saw them, I thought they were probably better than mine. I think Zapdos Mawile works better on that team than my 2 choices are, especially against the mirror, because Zapdos is out there thunder waving everything.
Brutal.
And it's thunderbolting all my rain stuff, and I just don't want to deal with any of that. And in the first game, neither of us brought rain. We both just led with our other four Mons.
Yeah.
And he pretty convincingly beat me that game. It was pretty bad. I missed a KO on Mawile just because my damage was I just couldn't deal enough damage in time. It ended up play roughing into my Ludicolo. It one-shot it.
Oh, brutal.
Shot. No, it took out like 3 of my Pokemon. And it was like, oh, geez, like I got to do something about this. So game 2, I figured I got nothing to lose. I got that top 16 spot. I really did. So I was pretty happy with where I was at anyway. And I led Rain, even though he had Rain. And you usually don't bring your own Politoed to an opponent's Rain matchup, because they also
into a Rain battle.
It's usually pretty useless. But he led Mega Kangaskhan Zapdos that game, and I was just like, I hate the Zapdos so much. So the first turn, instead of me faking out his Kangaskhan, because I have the faster fake out due to Swift Swim, I was like, I'm just going to Hydro Pump Scald into Zapdos.
Yeah.
And thankfully, he switched out his Kangaskhan first turn into Hydreigon, and I landed the Hydro Pump, landed the Scald, and Zapdos went down turn 1.
Oh, that's huge.
And yeah, from there, he had to send out back. He sent Kangaskhan back out, and I was able to weaken both with the rest of my Rain mode, and then was able to send in Hydreigon and Earth Power one-shot the rest of his team pretty much.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, his old Mawile spread, the very standard Ray's Careful Mawile, it gets one-shotted by my Hydreigon, but he updated the spread to increase its special defense a little bit, so it didn't quite get the one-shot.
Oh, wow.
I was able to put a little bit of damage on it first, and I was able to take out the back. And I knew that was my win condition game 3. I knew that's what I had to do. So I lead game 3, so it's 1-1. Next person goes on. And
so wait, real quick, game 3. So you were saying you knew that getting rid of Mawile was your win condition, or what were you looking to do?
I had to save Hydreigon to get rid of Mawile and Aegislash, because I really had nothing else to hit him with. And the thing was, his Hydreigon was also specs, just like us, but it was faster than mine. So I was in a lot of danger of time. And then so I was like, oh god, I gotta do the same thing. And I knew I made a really good predict that game 2, which kind of put me in the lead, and I was able to snowball it. And I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to do that again. So game 3, I figured I'm gonna lead Rain again. Like, I don't care. And this time he led Hydreigon Zapdos, And for the second time in a row, I was like, I'm getting rid of this Zapdos. I'm not dealing with it. And I Hydro Pump Scalded it again, and it took it
Oh,
out first turn.
those hydro pumps though, 85%. You just were rolling the dice,
Yeah,
dude.
yeah. And his Hydreigon that turn, it Draco Meteored my Politoed, and in game two, it actually one-shot my Politoed, but this time, it left it with 1 HP. And
Oh,
so the speed that he had over my Hydreigon, he had taken out a special attack and left me with like a 6% chance of living. My Politoed lives with like 6% chance
wow.
for my 4 special defense EVs. And
Yeah.
I got that min damage roll, which was really it was pretty helpful to like not lose that Pokemon
Of course.
on that turn. So he's down to Zapdos. His Hydreigon's at -2, and I still have my Politoed up. He comes in with Kangaskhan, and now I got some like kind of fake out mind games. Maybe he's going to fake out Politoed, or if he's not running it, maybe he'll sucker punch it. But when you're playing someone that good, you figure you can't make the obvious play. So I stayed in and Hydro Pumped again, and I got Kangaskhan down to about 30%, and that kind of really just led me into the rest of that match, because I was able to then, once he killed those two with Hydreigon and Kangaskhan, send out my Hydreigon again, and his was at -4.
Yeah.
I still had my full health Mega Kangaskhan, and I was able to just pick off the rest of them. So I did get pretty lucky in that survive with that Draco Meteor. Like, that was pretty
Yeah.
much. And I do know on the final turn, he hit 3 Draco Meteors in a row, and on the final turn of the game, his 4th Draco Meteor missed my Hydreigon.
Oh, wow.
So that was pretty good. Like, I was pretty happy about that. But like, I would definitely, if we had to play again, like, I don't know. I don't think I would have won the series again.
Yeah, I mean that
Good as
you're
yeah.
essentially that could have gone either way, is what you're saying. It's just like it just so happened you made it through. So that's crazy. Again, guys, I know people in the chat keep asking because we're live right now and there's a big turnover of like people that just get here and stuff like that. So again, we're sitting here with Alex Ogloza, U.S. national champion. He was just talking about his top 8 cut match, I believe, with Ray Rizzo there. You can check him out on youtube.com/Alex Ogloza. You can look at it right there underneath him. You can see that. Yes, there you go. And also get a hold of him on Twitter. He also streams on Twitch, so everything is Alex Ogloza, I believe, so it's easy to find, guys. This is your U.S. national champion. He'll be representing you at Worlds. Alex... Oh, look out, showing off the trophy.
just proof.
You didn't. You
What
didn't.
if you're lying, Justin? What if nobody believed you?
Wait.
Yeah, now we have proof.
You got to show it off again. You got to show it off one more time.
Okay, I'm hoping the glare is not too bad. Can you guys see it? Hold on. It's really shiny, guys. It's really
I just played a sound effect that everyone just went ah. But because he can't hear any of those sound effects, guys. He can't hear any of the audience noises, so he doesn't know what's going on.
I'm just sitting here, yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about the very final match, and then we'll get into building. We're gonna build Alex's team in Pokemon Showdown. So guys, definitely stick around to check that out. Everyone's wanting me to show the belt. Show the belt. I have a belt that I like to bring around. We're gonna be building Alex's team, and then we're going to have a battle. So let's talk about the very final match,
Sure.
and then we'll take a look at that one of your prizes that I know you've gotten 6 of that you're really happy. And so anyway, let's talk about the very final match, guys. This is what happened. It came down to Alex and Adib Alam. Is that correct, Alex?
Huh?
Okay, and so match 1, I think went actually in your favor, but I don't recall.
Yeah. It was my favor. The night before, King of Kongs, he won the national championships last year, came over to my room. Him and my good friend Stampy, who won Oregon Regionals, I rebuilt Adib's team to the best of my ability. I didn't know quite the EV spreads, but we rebuilt it, and I tested it against my team. I used his team for a while against random people. Then I had King of Kongs use my team, and I used Adib's, and then we flipped. So I was trying to really get inside it. And after about 2 hours of testing, like a long time, we decided his best options were Gyarados Kangaskhan lead or Amoonguss Kangaskhan lead, which actually ended up being the 2 leads he used against me. So that was pretty good. But we also decided that first turn he wasn't going to leave Gyarados in for a Draco Meteor, and he was going to immediately switch to Aegislash. And if you watch the battle, you'll see after he makes that switch, I point out to the crowd, because I was pointing out to Stempy and I was pointing out to Gavin. I was like, this is what we talked about. I told you guys this is what's going down. And I Dark Pulse right into it, and that gave me the snowball on game 1. And that momentum's really important in a 2 out of 3. Winning game 1, it like makes you it gives you kind of that buffer, so you can like mess up a little bit. You can play a little bit more dangerously and try to take games 2.
Yeah.
3. So that first turn, it kind of just shut him down. And I mean, he's a great guy. We were talking over the headset, we were joking, and everything. And but that was a really tough first turn, like to lose a Pokemon just straight up.
Yeah.
Wasn't at minus special attack or anything. He had protected and just lost the Pokemon. So that was really good turn 1. And then so I won that game just because I was up a Pokemon at the time. And game 2, he started Kangaskhan Amoonguss, like with the other thing we had talked about. And we had decided if he does anything, it's protect Kangaskhan, Spore Amoonguss, or it's going to be a double protect.
Yeah.
Now, Stampy being Stampy, he's all about making the big plays. He wanted me to switch in Talonflame and power up punch my own bird. Because, it would do negligible damage.
You brought Kangaskhan as well.
Yeah, I led Kangaskhan. I always had to lead Kangaskhan just to try to neuter his, because Kangaskhan's so powerful.
Yeah.
And so I made the same lead with Hydreigon and Kangaskhan. And the goal was to switch out into Bird. Talonflame, sorry guys.
Into Bird. Switch into Bird.
We just switched into Bird.
Is that flying? Is that air type? Air type Talonflame? Air type? Plant type?
And that was the plan, and everything was going according to plan until he Rage Powder returned turn 1 into my Hydreigon. Now, I didn't think that was possible, because if I had faked out Amoonguss, like I did fake out, and just Draco Meteored, 75% chance his Kangaskhan would be done, and my Hydreigon lives return 100% of the time.
So he made a crazy risky play.
He made beyond a crazy play. This guy next level predicted my next level prediction. Like, this guy's like way up here. And I was like, oh my god, what is this? This doesn't even make sense. Because as long as I didn't switch, that turn would have been amazing for me, and I would have been able to take game 2 as well.
Yeah.
I switched, except for I ended up switching, and he told me on the thing, he's like, man, I thought I had to go hyper offense here. I figured you were going to switch or something. And I was like, oh man.
Oh, brutal.
He took out Talonflame. And then Amoonguss gives my team a big problem because, like I said, I'm Rain. So once he had Amoonguss up there with Scan, he could start power up punching. He could start doing all of his setup, and I couldn't stop it because I have no status. I have no protect. My goal is to do as much damage as fast as possible, and if he's able to redirect it, it kind of shuts my team down. So he made a great play there and took game 2, and I was like getting really nervous. But game 3. I still went Kangaskhan Hydreigon. I figured, whatever. And he brought Goodra that game because he thought I was going to switch it up and go Rain, and that really gave me a big advantage because I didn't bring Rain. And he did the Gyarados, he did the Kangaskhan, and that first turn of game 3, I did exactly what I should have done game 2. I Draco Meteored right into the Kangaskhan, and he returned my Hydreigon. I survived, and he died. And
nice.
Once I had a full health Mega Pokemon on the field, it being Mega Kangaskhan, it's hard to come back from that kind of damage. Yeah,
because you took out his Mega, and that was it pretty much. So it was a Draco Meteor took out the Kangaskhan. You still had a Kangaskhan. I mean, essentially that was pretty much
full health. Yeah, because I faked out the Gyarados, so I was just up a whole Mega Pokemon. It was just so I felt pretty good after that.
So you had quite a obviously Hydreigon can be relatively bulky, one of the bulkier Pokemon there. So it ended up taking that return and surviving. Were you in the red at that point, or still in the yellow?
6 HP. I knew I was going to survive it. As long as he didn't crit, I survive it every time. And I built it to do that because I know I needed it to kill.
Yeah.
I guess I figured he'd think so too and return it game 2, but he's too good, man. Too good.
You guys heard it here first. He needed it to kill. Alex Ogloza, the national champion, doesn't faint Pokemon. He killed. They never go back to their trainers.
I'm sorry.
What a jerk. Yeah. He just kills them. Well, anyway, Alex, so that's pretty much it, guys. Again, he's the national champion. He beat Adib Alam, like he said, with a big play there. The Hydreigon, a Draco Meteor into that Kangaskhan pretty much turned around the match for him. So he won 2-1, the national champion. Why don't we get a look at the trophy and that prize that you were dying for the entire time?
Okay.
That you don't have 6 of.
Okay, so here is the trophy, guys. If you're curious, it weighs not that much. It's kind of plastic. It's like a nice plastic, So it's like
that's nice.
They put a little bit of money into it. It's not glass or anything, which I'm glad I didn't want to break it.
Yeah.
It kind of looks like second place, but it feels really good to hold like this. It's like they're similar,
but that's a little bit bigger, right?
Yeah, it's a little bit bigger. And I looked at they've really they really spend time working on their trophies and stuff. I've been watching it as the years have progressed, and they really put more and more effort into their trophies. And I know my mom's like super. She's trying to display it in the living room, but she had to get like a plexiglass box because I know my dog's gonna knock it over, and I'm not having any of that.
Yeah.
But the greatest
real prize
in the world is a Fennekin hat, guys. and let me just tell you, I have, I think 6 or 7 of these, and I don't wear this. Like, do I look like I wear this? No, I don't.
Yes. Hats look totally natural on you.
No. I got, here's the deal. I got second place at Oregon, and I top cut a couple other places. Even top 16, some people just give you hats. But I've always gotten a Fennekin hat. I don't even like Fennekin. I started with Froki. Like, I don't even want Fennekin. And as soon as our match was over, they took me over to, Justin said, Justin, you presented my trophy, right? Yeah?
Yeah, I gave you the trophy on stage, but then you had to go to the interview.
They ushered me over to talk to Evan or whatever on stream, and while I was doing that, Adib got to go collect his prizes, and he took the Froki hat. He scurried over there as fast as possible and took my, what? And he was like, I don't want Fennekin. I have like 7 of these too. And I was like, oh my God. So, oh God.
I saw him. I saw him snatch it up. I saw him. I was standing there. You walked right by me, and then Adib was like carrying like all of his prizes, and he had the Froki hat, and he was like, he said something like, "Suck it, Alex." I can't remember if those were the exact words, but I mean, it could have been.
Just something around that area.
Yeah.
But clearly he knows what he's doing. He got the best prize.
For sure. So that is awesome. I know I've said it a bunch of times, guys, but I want to remind you what a big deal this is that we have Alex on here, because he's an incredible Pokemon trainer, and he will be helping me build his team right now. We're going to go to Showdown. We're going to build that. So come back for that if you're watching this on YouTube. That'll probably be in a separate video. Go check him out at youtube.com/AlexOgloza. Go hit that. I'll probably put his links in the description below. Or you can maybe have an annotation on screen. Yeah. But crazy story, guys. This is who one of many people from the U.S. that we got to be cheering for and rooting on at Pokemon Worlds coming up on, I believe, like August 15th through the 17th.
Right around there. You're right. Aren't you commentating it?
I'm supposed to commentate, but I don't even know. I got to show up for a flight at some point. My alarm will tell me, "Oh, I got to fly to DC tomorrow." Oops. So yeah, I'll be commentating the World Championships. Hopefully, I'll be commentating some of these matches. Alex will hopefully be on stage, and I'll get a chance to commentate him. But anyway, guys, really fun interview. Thank you so much for coming on, Alex. Let's head over to Pokemon Showdown and build your team.
All right, sounds good.